There has been many creators and gamers that have been in the crossfire over their questionable tweet. Among them, there's been quite a few gamers that are active on Roblox, and the evidence is pretty damning. This list contains some of the craziest Twitter drama from Roblox gamers. This all started when Lil Nas X was given a spot on Roblox to perform his song. All that went well, but the real trouble came afterwards. Due to the popularity he gained after doing this performance, Lil Nas X started promoting his shoes. This is when everything exploded. The thing is, those shoes had some sort of satanic imagery on it, and that wasn't really well received by a Christian Roblox YouTuber. His name is Poke on YouTube, and he has millions of subscribers, so this was by all means not just a small YouTuber. And the entire story started to take a turn at this point.
Generally make a lot of videos like Bloxburg roleplay videos, and he's pretty well known in the Roblox community. He has a very large platform and just has always been rather large in the community, right? Well, he got canceled a couple months ago on Roblox Twitter and completely deactivated from the community for something that went down back, I don't know exactly when it was. It was around March or April, I believe. Yeah, a couple months ago there was this Roblox drama that went down massively on Roblox Twitter of like Lil Nas X was promoted on Roblox and had a whole concert and everything, and then a couple months ago he was promoting these like shoes of satanic imagery on it, and some Roblox YouTubers were not particularly.
After he heard about the shoes, Poke immediately criticized them for being offensive to his religion. Also, he was not the only one to criticize those shoes, as there were many others who felt that way. Another side to this whole situation was that many of the people from the same religion didn't care whether or not Lil Nas X was selling some shoes. The real trouble began when the criticism came back to bite him. His fans and people on Twitter in general didn't feel too strongly about him calling out a singer's shoes, and since Lil Nas X is part of the LGBTQ community, the fans saw Poke's reaction as an attack on his beliefs.
He found it offensive that shoes with satanic imagery were being like marketed and shown to the world because these people were Christian, and did not really appreciate that at all, because obviously it's a very bad thing in Christianity. Again, this isn't speaking for all Christians. A good majority of them did not actually care about it, but some people were very uncomfortable about it, and rightfully so if it does go against their faith. However, the discussion went off from the shoes to completely different avenues, which I have some screenshots right here of what was said. You vote for Donald Trump, you're an evil blank blank who is evil. I can't say the other stuff or else this video will legit get demonetized. You don't like Lil Nas X Satan shoes, and suddenly you're the evil one. I'm leaving Twitter forever, this world is going downhill. And this started like a slew of problems because Poke was basically saying that he endorsed Donald Trump, which...
If there's one thing that is bound to create controversy, it's politics and political views. So when the reaction from his fans grew too much for him, Poke sent out a tweet. In this tweet, he said that people hate someone who votes for Donald Trump, and people also hate someone who doesn't like satanic shoes. This tweet made it explicitly clear to people that he had, in fact, voted for Donald Trump, and they were not happy about that. But that wasn't all. After he got a few angry messages from his fans asking him to verify who he actually voted for, he replied to them by calling Joe Biden, the current president of the United States, an idiot. This led to him being cancelled on Twitter and also being on the forefront of a lot of angry tweets.
I'm a lot more than the idiot that we currently have in office, which got ratioed very fast. Again, I have to be very clear before I continue on anything. I am not giving political opinions in this video because it's just not something that I do. I refuse to talk about that because it is a can of worms I prefer to not open. I simply am just commentating over the situation in the most neutral stance that I possibly can. And Poke just essentially continued to like triple down on this, saying, I mean, hey, people like Satan's shoes, so I guess I should share my opinion. I mean, it's the same thing, right? An opinion. And then just says, dang, it's good to speak how I feel free to unfollow, I still love all of you exactly the same. After this, Poke ended up deactivating from Twitter for a little bit, and has now recently came back to the platform with more information about what happened. So that's the drama.
After seeing all this backlash that he's gotten from his tweet, Poke went offline for a couple of months. After that, he finally came back on Twitter with an apology note. In this note, he stated a lot of things about how he was raised and how he didn't know about the liberal side of things. The main theme of his note was a sincere feeling of regret and admission of guilt. He even said that he shouldn't have posted things that he did on Twitter because he didn't know how hurtful they would be to the LGBT community. He further elaborated in his apology note that he wasn't trying to say those things just to get his platform back.
We have Poke that came back to Twitter recently with a very lengthy statement on June the 4th, 2021, which was rather long, and the opinions of the Roblox community that was shared was very in between. But I'm going to go ahead and read his statement right now and let you get your thoughts on it. Poke released this long statement saying, "I'm sorry. Before anything, I need to apologize to the LGBTQ+ community for disrespecting you and posting things that I never should have been posted about my political views. I was raised with a very conservative background with zero knowledge of the other side. This is no excuse by any means. I thought this was the way to be a person. But since posting those tweets, I was not educated on the other side of everything, and I feel terrible for it. I am by no means a new person."
One thing that people found interesting was when he said that he needed to look at people in their own shoes. And the irony of this is that it all started with him criticizing a pair of shoes. So it's up to you to decide whether that was intentional or a phrase that just came to his mind. Another main theme of his apology was that he was taking time to grow and learn from his errors, and that he had consulted his therapist about things he has said.
I have a lot of learning to do, but I've talked with my therapist and parents about the situation and realized before posting about how I feel, I need to look at people in their shoes, which I'm sorry, but that wording there with the whole shoes drama this really came off of is just kind of poor in a retroactive way. I miss my community so much here.
As is the case with all the apology notes, people analyze them to pieces. They take every part of that note and criticize to the end of the world. But fortunately for Poke, his apology was well received by the community, and his return was well received. In fact, even some of the LGBTQ members were appreciative of him taking time to understand things he didn't know about. Many people were still shocked at the things he said, but once Poke gave them the context, which was his family's history and his upbringing, they were interested to see where he went next.
Video, and he had moved forward and bettered himself from it. And Poke did come back, fully addressed it head on, and gave no excuses for himself. He didn't try to downplay it whatsoever. He took accountability for what he said, saying that he had no knowledge of anything and was feeling terrible for it, and it was a stupid thing to say. I give Poke a strong benefit of the doubt here, and I do accept his apology because he has been trying to better himself. And I have leeway to accept this apology because I'm LGBT myself. Now, some other people, like Danny, for example, said, "It's not my place to accept apologies, but I hope you..."
This was by far one of the craziest Twitter drama that has ever been on the platform. But it's almost like it's the first time that someone got cancelled and then got resurrected after a short time. The light at the end of the tunnel for all this was that the person accepted his flaws and he started working on bettering himself. And that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did enjoy, then make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this and much more. Hit that bell icon too so you never miss out on a future video. We'll catch you guys next time, but until then, take care and cheerio.